I think for
Totally.
most males, we just mature way later and get smarter way later than females.
I mean, did you feel like maybe like in Charleston and growing up in the South, you kind of grew up in maybe like a little bit of a bubble and you were at parties where people had blackface
Yeah.
and, you know, I
Oh,
mean,
hey, listen, I don't want this to become a story, but because I wasn't part of this
of
party,
course,
but
yeah.
I definitely know, the bachelor thing with
Hmm.
the plantation party. I don't think they do it at University of Georgia anymore. I hope the hell they don't, but they did in the early 2000s and the late 90s. There was these big ornate, guys dressed up like, soldiers and stuff like that, women, so I thought back then it was a little much,
Right.
honestly. I can't believe in 2017 they're doing it.
Hmm.
That surprised me. I don't know what I think of it, honestly. I'm like, okay, look, she's from North Georgia. I mean, yeah, the South, you're gonna be in situations where maybe you don't agree with a whole hell of a lot of people
Right.
in that setting. So yeah, you gotta be careful.
No, definitely. Thank you for the Us Weekly shout out on page 83 of your book. We really appreciate that. um, but you talk about how you got pretty down after you called a homeless woman out on your Instagram.
Yeah.
But what sparked a change in you and how have you changed since then? Because obviously you've done a lot of growth in that time.
Yeah, when you feel like the weight of the world is on you, you're like, okay, how did I get here and why? And how can I make sure this doesn't happen again? So,
Mhm.
I was hammered on the streets of New York after a crazy weekend and just trying to I was stupid and reckless and overconfident and all these things that can get you in big trouble. So, a lot more trouble than I got in. I'm talking, you say the wrong thing to the wrong guy in New York City, you might be stabbed, and I was in that condition where that could have been something that happened, So just really slow the hell down.
Right.
and and be careful and don't put yourself in those situations. You're 40. I was 40 or 39 at the time. Give me a break, man. Like we've been doing this a while now. Have you learned nothing or have you changed? Anyway, so for me, change is maybe too incremental and slow, but I swear it's happening.
Yeah,
I think
totally.
for most males, we just mature way later and get smarter way later than females.
You know what was so interesting to me in this book that, you have a chapter in the book called Cancel Me. And you say that, everything about you is already out there. I mean, why don't you think you've been, canceled yet,
Well, because I consider myself a kind person. I'm not out for blood. And I'm smart enough to know to stay away from certain situations. And I don't know. It's easy. So here's the thing: the far left is too quick to cancel. The far right is too quick not to. Like you can get away with anything and say anything. I think it's important that we, if we're going to evolve or whatever as a society, if a word that is inflammatory and not very nice, don't use it. It's not that hard,
Yeah.
And it's not like cultural and it's not like punitive for the user of the word. Just use other words and consider someone else's feelings. So I'm trying to do that. It's not easy because, like I said in the book, I've used all sorts of words that would get me in big trouble in the past. I think almost everyone has. Besides like Mother Teresa and
That's true.
Gandhi. But I've taken them out of my vocabulary, so to speak, and so that's kind of the thing. And the stubborn refusal to change or evolve doesn't make any sense to me because we should all want to do that.